Brad Newberg of SB Nation Fantasy here for our Fantasy Friday, where we ask a couple of quick hit fantasy related questions of one of our NFL bloggers. I'm talking today with Caleb Rutherford of The Falcoholic, our Atlanta Falcons blog. And Caleb, Michael Turner last week, 24 attempts for 58 yards. Jacquizz Rodgers, 8 attempts for 60 yards. When will we see more Jacquizz, if at all? Is there any chance he will get a more prominent role this season?
Well, it's no secret that the Falcons' running game is struggling this year. Last week, Michael Turner, 24 carries and 58 yards, and Jacquizz Rodgers, 8 carries on 60 yards. Now, while Quizz's numbers look better, he did have one kind of mysterious run that was over 40 yards, so really his average wasn't much better. Falcons attempted a ton of screens last week. It was actually kind of a surprise. I would expect to see more of Jacquizz Rodgers and third running back Jason Snelling to be on the receiving end of those. I don't see either being a real reliable fantasy option until we start seeing some more consistency. I don't think it's all their fault. I feel like some of it has to do with the offensive line. The offensive line is struggling a little bit in run blocking, thankfully not in pass protection. As far as Quizz's role goes, Mike Smith's been kind of stubborn about how Michael Turner gets so many carries but just hasn't done anything with them. I feel like we're starting to see a little bit of the changing of the guard, so to speak, but I don't think Quiz is going to get a more prominent role until later on in the season, or maybe unless Michael Turner gets hurt. They seem to like trotting Turner out there, so there's no way to know for sure.
For fantasy owners looking for an inside edge, I assume it's random. But as somebody who watches the team, can you tell me, is there any reason why the Falcons seem to go to Julio Jones on the road and Roddy White at home?
That's really interesting that you mentioned that. Julio Jones, for some reason, just plays better on the road. I don't know if he gets more hyped up for road games or if it's just been a matchup thing this year. Roddy White, on the other hand, is the safe option for Matt Ryan. They've had a couple close games at home, of course, the Oakland game and the Panthers game. Panthers game where Roddy White had a huge catch to help set up the field goal there at the end of the game. And, you know, Julio Jones is the big play guy. They might target Julio more in away games because they feel like hitting him early will kind of quiet down the crowd. Roddy White isn't a big play guy anymore, so he's kind of the dink and dunk possession receiver. The crowd doesn't, I would say that, you know, Roddy White probably doesn't take the crowd out of it as much as he used to. And you have guys like Tony Gonzalez and stuff out there that are just possession guys at this point in their career. As far as Julio Jones, you know, with the way the stats have shown it, it would be worth taking a risk. If Julio Jones and the Falcons are away, take Julio. If they're at home, take Roddy White and see what happens.